It's a all
A
male
200.
group.
All male forcible touching was the band. Excellent. And we're live. Hello,
Wow, I
everyone.
hope I hope we went longer than
Raz
that.
started the call at a very strange time. Don't mind us.
Yes.
We're just talking about boners and forcible touchings. So,
And I'm noticing on the related videos on our stream, there's a video called "How to Sell Your Virginity for $550,000."
Yeah, pretty
So
relevant.
is
if you've
that
ever wanted to know,
is that a Philip DeFranco
it
video?
is. It
Right,
is.
I have actually seen that one.
I don't know who
It's
that is, but
it's it's sort of a news show, but it's more of a sort of opinionated news show. I just find
so
it because
it's
it's related.
terrible, is what you're saying.
No, it's he has an opinion, and he like freely acknowledges that it's his opinion, and he asks people what their opinion is, and stuff like that.
Oh
But
my
I just find
God,
it
how
fascinating.
revolutionary.
Yeah, yeah. It
I,
it's
I,
it's sad that it actually is revolutionary for
it's
a news show to actually explain that this is my opinion and
Well,
not the actual.
that's not really news if you think about it.
then yeah,
Well,
then it's not
he gives the
news.
news and then gives his opinion, but whatever. Yeah, it's off topic. But yes, selling your virginity for like $500,000 or whatever is inadvisable. Don't do that, kids.
I would do that for. Well, I mean, I can't. It's a little bit late now, but if I could go
Dear.
back, if I
Oh
could go
yeah,
back a couple
sure.
of years, then I would do it.
True enough. But this
It's a lot of
stream has
money,
come to a very strange place right from the off.
right
I...
from the get-go.
Yes.
So,
Seattle's Angels, everybody. We've been doing these for a year. Can you tell?
yeah, we've become so professional over
Yeah,
the
and like
last year.
only three of us bothered to show up.
It's
Yeah, I blame Pav.
it's like the same three people that are always here, except for when
Oh,
Plum was gone for like a month doing,
yeah.
I don't know, I guess British stuff. You're probably having tea and crumpets with the Queen.
Hmm. Not crumpets. Crumpets are fairly shit, but tea and digestives
What, tea
without
and
the fucking
Nutella?
Nutella. Fuck
Marmite. No,
off.
you were having nothing but tea and
Marmite.
Marmite. And every time
Tea and
you ate a
Marmite.
banana, you
Tea
turn
and
into a
Marmite is
superhero.
that's a horrifying thought. Ugh.
I hate Marmite. It's
I like
disgusting.
Marmite on
No, it's
toast is
terrible.
good.
That's
Marmite
fine.
is
Marmite
It's
on
like
like a
toast.
plushie.
Marmite is like eating warm tar.
That's Vegemite, I think you'll find.
That's
But anyway,
they're like the same thing.
Vegemite is the Australian version. So,
Okay, I had the British version.
mm.
Okay then.
Anywho,
Oh dear. M1
I see.
Durand is saying apparently we're related to Rooster Teeth on his YouTube, but whatever.
And
Actually,
things to
that's
do
the
in Saints
point.
Row 3.
Yeah, that's the point. The related videos, they'll either be something to do with the video that you're watching, or it'll be due to your
Yeah,
watched
you're.
video history.
I see two that say Fluttershy yelling "Come out," and
I.
another of that guy getting kicked in the head by the train.
That's what I have too.
Oh, oh dear.
I see what it says best news bloopers April 2014, but what I thought it said was best news boners,
So yeah,
which
I've
which would
got
have been
kicked
much
in the
more
head by a
related.
train as well.
Yeah, so it
I've
must be
got
just
William
My
Tell
God.
with toy trumpet.
I've
Which
got a
is
And this is
and
how we
someone
kill 3 minutes.
yeah, someone sticking a jellyfish on their head. But anyway, um,
wasn't that Steve-O?
yeah, that was indeed Steve-O.
There we go.
Whoever Steve-O is. I just
Of
noticed there, but
Jackass
huge
fame?
title. Oh, okay. That explains why he has a jellyfish on his head.
It really does, doesn't it? That's
Oh my god.
all you need to know.
Anyway, a reminder to everyone who is listening, for the love of God, ask us questions. Otherwise, we'll just talk about people sticking jellyfish on their head and continuous boners asked by a...
Don't say it like that. You're gonna make us sound desperate.
Are we not? Oh,
Well, yeah, but you don't say that. Just ruin the facade.
honesty is the best.
Pull the fucking curtain back and show them Oz. You're not supposed to do that.
Just Wizard of Oz with his continuous boners.
Oh God. I guarantee you there's a fanfic out there of the wizard just with just like a huge boner, and it's just like he just bones everybody.
Obviously. How could it be any different?
I don't know. I really the
What are we
wonderful things
doing?
he does. Uh,
Oh dear.
Never a whiz there was. No, wait, never a whiz
What?
there is or
He's
was.
trying
That's what
to
it was.
quote the song.
Never a whiz there is or was. Yeah, that's what it was. Damn it. I just. Anywho, enough about
Yes.
continuous boners.
Yes, we would normally start these. We've been floundering around for a bit. We would normally start these podcasts with someone from the latest round uh, going over what the latest round was in terms of stories. But Pav is Pav, and I've never actually seen Plebeian in the flesh. So
I'm inclined to believe that it doesn't exist. He's just a metaphysical concept that somehow made its way into our group.
that's his tulpa, a sack of flour.
He's probably just another one of the C squared alts.
There.
Yeah, it's just gonna be like.
Well,
what's it-
that would imply C squared's actually doing things, which,
He
as
was
we
on
know,
Steam yesterday. He was playing video games.
yeah,
on Steam.
C squared just chooses to not ever show up because he's
Yeah.
an asshole.
According to confidential sources, C squared has things going on IRL
Mm.
that
The confidential sources.
That,
that limits times for ponies.
It's true.
but it allows time for Steam games.
Yep.
What's going to happen is it's going to be like what Short Skirts and Explosions did like yesterday or earlier today or whenever it was, where he put up a blog linking to another blog of one of his alternate accounts. Like he linked to Imploding Colon, who linked to something else. It's just going to be that with C squared, except it's going to be like half the site. Like we're going to find out that he is secretly Hayden.
Turns
and
out we're all
It turns out that C squared is all the mods, and he is Nighty's significant other.
Yeah, and he is also us. We are actually sock puppets, except for Sock, who is not a sock puppet. and is-
interestingly enough, yes.
Sock is just a puppet.
Yeah. The secret is out. Oh dear. I do
Secret's
hope
out.
he doesn't watch this.
C squared is everybody. We're all a little C squared on the inside
That's a
because
horrifying thought.
because he's been there. You just don't know
Why? With this continuous bonus.
it.
Why are we doing this?
We do it every other week.
It's true.
So that the 7 view, I think that some of those. Oh, thank God, Red Squirrel's here too now. Oh, we're down to 5 viewers as soon as Red joined. Well, Red, get the fuck out.
Red was those two viewers. The two viewers were also C squared, and he was annoyed.
I was gonna
that
say
he
Red Squirrel's also C squared.
We're just being watched by C squared 7 times over.
Well, we are C squared, so how can he not watch us?
It's true. Anyway, this has gone on far too long. Hello there.
Yes.
Hello there.
Let's.
Let's do
Now it's a special stream because I'm here.
Yeah.
Yay.
This was the special thing we were gonna do for our anniversary.
Yeah, I lied in the thread saying we had something special planned. I assumed we would come up with something in time, so I just said that.
Assume that we would do something. This was
Yeah,
a
well,
poor
you know.
assumption.
I figured it was
do
a
have a
long shot,
question.
but
This is called
Holy
efficiency.
We do have a question from Dosso in the. I think that's Dosso.
is
I've never.
I always say Dosix, but I know that's wrong
Right.
because
He's
if it's
saying-
probably French.
Yeah. He's saying, or he's asking even, is piracy a problem in the fandom?
No, and you're stupid for asking that.
What kind of piracy? Are you talking like intellectual property theft, or as in stories involving pirates? Because I seem to think we lack those.
I was gonna say we do have a distinct lack of pirates.
But we do have an extreme overabundance of idea swiping. I mean,
Bandwagoning.
bandwagoning.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Well, yeah, that's different. But yeah,
Bandwagoning is different from piracy. That's very
it is.
true.
It's very.
Can anything really be piracy in this fandom besides like just legitimately swiping another person's work and calling it yours?
If he's asking about like people pirating like episodes and stuff, is it really a problem? I don't think it's not a problem for us. I mean,
No, here's the thing. Like, I've explained this a number of times, but in Britain, ponies aren't really a thing. There is literally no way for me to get to see the weekly
Yeah.
episodes of
No.
Pony
Yeah.
without
Go
going
to
on
go to
YouTube.
Galacon and then stalk someone home and move next door.
I
No,
don't
but
think
yeah, I
it's
mean,
very common in the rest of Europe either. It's
well,
like
because
they do have it.
because you guys don't
They
get
have
the
it.
hub.
Yeah, the hub isn't a thing.
So yeah,
I think last year they broadcast season 1 on Boomerang or something. Uh,
but
at
like
like
after it had already aired,
yeah,
right?
like a few
Yeah, yeah.
years after it had already aired,
Jesus Christ.
which is just so yeah. Without piracy, I would never have watched the show. You know, I
Yeah,
would
I
never have
watched the
seen it.
entire first season, quote unquote, pirated off of YouTube.
Yeah, I mean that's where I watched it.
Every single episode I've seen has been pirated off
It's
YouTube.
it's I saw an article a while back talking about Game of Thrones and how it's the most pirated show. I don't know if they were saying like
Of all time.
of all time. It probably is. I wouldn't doubt it.
It
But
is, yeah.
but I mean that's contributed a lot to its success. Is that so many people can watch it? Because not everybody has HBO. Not everybody's going to pay $15 a month to get HBO.
One of the big things about piracy in any regard is if people do not have the ability to get it, they will resort to piracy. So
Yeah.
basically, if you want if Hub is watching the stream for whatever dumb reason,
Oh, they are. They are. Everybody watches us.
if they're
Oh,
watching
They
the
have,
stream,
they have a special black helicopter division that watches all the bronies.
yes.
A black
But
helicopter piloted
basically,
by C
if you
Squared.
sell the DVDs, I guarantee if they sell them in England, they will be bought
Mhm.
because people want them. People would rather spend their money than download something because it's
Like-
time exclusive.
The thing
Right.
is, like, piracy only hurts the show in the most limited and direct, like, this tiny little focus point. In that
Right.
fewer people watch it on TV, and that means less ad revenue from the TV show broadcast.
Well, yeah, but
Especially when you consider that ponies are more of a toy line than an actual show.
Yeah, that's it.
yeah.
And, like, the thing with HBO is not all people in America have HBO,
Right.
and I think about 90% of the world outside of America doesn't. Like, I don't
Right.
think you can get We have to get,
And-
like,
yeah,
Sky
and yet it's become like an internationally successful show because of
And, yeah.
piracy.
people are pirating it, and then they're going to buy the DVDs,
Right.
they're going
That-
to buy the board game, there are Game of Thrones beers.
That's exactly
people
yeah.
buy.
That's exactly what happens. Is
I
people
have a
if
Game of
people
Thrones
like
shirt.
if people like your stuff, most people are gonna like buy something like some merchandise to support it. And if they didn't, then they weren't gonna pay to watch the show anyway. So you're not losing anything.
Yeah, most sane people will actually pay money.
Yeah, like
Sure.
I buy all the Game of Thrones Blu-rays because I like the show. I mean I just now because I finally have my own place, I got HBO for Game of Thrones. But before that, I just pirated it.
Like, I watched the first season of Game of Thrones online, didn't pay for that, and then I went out and bought the season 1 and season 2 box set because I wanted to. It's a fucking good show, and I wanted to support what I'd seen already.
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
wanted to see the second season, so
Yeah.
whatever. But yeah, as you mentioned before, piracy is even less of an issue for Hasbro because they are primarily a toy-based company.
Right, and as you could tell by like checking any fucking basically any EQD post with like customs and shit or whatever, people buy a lot of fucking merchandise and a lot of it like official too.
Hasbro
So-
would make a fucking killing if they decided to like do a decent plushie.
Yeah, no, they just make really
Absolutely.
shitty ones, but if they made good ones, then
Yeah, they'd make an absolute killing.
yeah.
So, piracy is basically the only reason the fandom exists, in my opinion.
Yeah, it boggles my mind when people say that piracy is like cutting down on jobs and making people lose money. I'm like, what the? Are you kidding me? The people that pirated the show weren't. If you were gonna pirate it, then they weren't gonna pay for it in the first place. And if they did, a lot of people will end up paying for stuff anyways later on. But if they pirate it, that means they weren't gonna pay for it. Like if that was the only way to get it, they weren't gonna pay for it.
Not that they weren't going to pay for it, but sometimes that they just can't pay for it.
Well, yeah, that too,
For
that
instance,
too.
unavailable in their area.
Right.
See,
So
Notch had a thing where when Minecraft, when you like first started buying Minecraft, whatever, he said, torrent it if you can't afford it, and if you can, please buy it later. That was
Right.
his thing.
And it became like super
Minecraft is
successful
like
because of
the most popular video game of all time, or some shit like that.
it's it's really popular. And
You got
because a lot of people could get it for free.
Yeah.
So
And a lot of
Yeah,
people
Yeah,
ended up
I
paying
think
for it later
I
anyway.
think Notch attributed piracy to one of the big getting Minecraft out there.
it's true. It's true.
So
That and Let's Players like the Yogscast or whatever. But
yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, when a lot of people talk about piracy, it's like they're trying to say that it's like they want to find a system that will literally force every single person who is ever even tangentially involved to pay in some way.
Oh,
And
I'm
you can't,
sure they do.
and you can't do that.
Well, not yet. Not yet.
Like,
But yeah, but people will go crazy once they actually try.
Well, yeah.
there was
but-
a thing Adult Swim did where they said they quoted a statistic from one of the American media companies which said X billion dollars are lost every year because of piracy in the United States, and it was like that money. The Adult Swim message was that money isn't lost. It is going to other areas, like providing care for babies. Piracy cares for babies. It's like it's a statement, you know?
Right.
But no, yeah, piracy is the only reason the fandom exists. It's worth pointing out that the hub in the US isn't like a default channel. You have to pay for the hub, don't you?
Well, if
You
you
have to
get,
pay
if
for
you-
a package with the hub on
Yeah.
it, in my case.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, for me, I just got basic cable and it was on there.
Really?
Oh, lucky.
Well, I mean, yeah, I haven't had a chance to watch any of the I haven't like the first. I just watched for the first time this season. I watched one of the episodes that aired today, but it's the
Yeah,
first
so-
time I've ever had a chance to.
So, the point is that the hub isn't available to everyone. There will be some people who don't have the hub, and I'm willing to bet that if people on 4chan hadn't said, "Actually, this shit is good, go and download a copy of it," if they'd said, "Go and watch it next time it's on a Saturday morning,"
Nobody would have fucking watched it.
no one would have watched it, and a lot of people wouldn't have been able to watch it without buying like a different package or
Right,
whatever,
right.
so.
And nobody's gonna like. People hate having to watch things on a certain schedule. Like in some cases, you start to look forward to it. Like I look forward to watching Game of Thrones when it airs now. But I mean, I like for the most
You
part,
can't
you're
do
not-
that for every show.
no, and you're not gonna get a lot of people to be like, "Oh, I can't wait to go watch fucking ponies at 9 o'clock in the morning." I mean,
Very true.
So you go download it
being
and
up
watch it
9
when you
o'clock
want.
on a Saturday morning is not something I planned on being. Like, it's
I was usually at work every day, so I didn't get a chance to watch it.
true.
hmm
Still. So no, piracy is huge. Simply put, DOS. I can't think of a bigger influencing factor to the growth of the fandom.
Well, porn.
Porn. EQD as well. Like,
Yeah, that's
we're
true.
probably gonna, we
But
talked
but
about
I
this
would
a bit
think
last time.
I would
and
think
we're
people.
probably going to talk about it a bit next time when we get like Couch on or whatever.
Oh yes, yes.
Spoilers.
Where are we going to subscribe, Nick?
You didn't hear anything.
Yeah, you didn't.
Wait, we're going to talk about porn? I misheard.
What do we
I
get
didn't.
C squared on next week? But yeah, like the mere fact that EQD was there to to be a place where people could find, like, it was a hub of things like fandom related, and
If you will, a hub.
If you will.
pun intended.
Uh,
And B, it did implement standards. Like, it wouldn't be like DeviantArt and accept everybody's shitty recolored Rainbow Dash and Scootaloo. and
right, but they
Sonic.
did accept every fanfic pretty early on.
Pretty
Like they just,
early on.
And an image format.
That
Yes.
was, yeah, that was like back when it was Seth doing it though.
Yeah,
It's
my-
still Seth doing it.
Seth in his parents' basement
Yeah,
just posting every
Just
fic
like-
people would submit to him.
covered in tricksy paraphernalia.
And it was
There's that-
amazing. I miss those days. I miss those
There's
days.
that one pic of Seth which has just survived the fandom, where he's just like got a tricksy blind bag toy in his hand and he's staring at the camera.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I just want that framed on my wall. You're just gonna next time it comes up, I'm just gonna point my camera at the wall and just have a massive Seth poster of that. That's all
There
I
you
want.
There you go. That won't be weird at all.
I'll go to bed.
Oh dear. And that is us out of topics already. Excellent.
Well, we could. I mean, like we didn't.
Now we need more fics with pirates in them. I'll go do that.
There we go. Yes, please.
There have been
Yes.
sky pirates. Like
There's
there's
been a lot.
even better.
There's been a,
There
but
needs
there's
to be
never.
more, and there needs to be better.
But there's never been a gay sky
Gay-
pirate.
Pirates!
gay
Pirates.
Gay
Oh,
spiked pirate.
Shakespeare. Shakespeare is actually a pretty pony-related name. Like I could see that.
It
being
is. Yeah, no, that could totally be a pony name. So I'm just saying, go right.
Just drop the E at the end and you got the pony name.
No, you can keep it even.
But then you get a sexual innuendo.
Oh,
Wait,
Hold on.
what?
red
Never
no.
mind.
You've lost me.
bonus
You've lost
intensify.
me.
Never mind, never mind.
Right. But I think one of the big things
I'll just let the perverts in our watch list get that joke.
we've seen
Okay.
airships in Equestria like several
Sort
times.
of ish.
No.
We've seen dirigibles.
Well,
There was like that one airship.
There was
It wasn't
like
even
a
really an
submarine
airship.
thing, and then there's the helicopter.
But it had like
that
propellers.
barely counts.
It had like
there
it
was
had
the
like those
whale-
little fan things that apparently propel it along faster than a dirigible might.
Yeah.
Well,
Wait, dirigibles have
true.
And then there was a
Well-
helicopter with the door at the back, despite the fact the giant windows that are glassless, you can just jump out of.
It's a safety regulation. You have to have a door on the helicopter.
Made no sense.
Yeah, so we've seen flying vehicles of various types, and yet, unless something's happened in season 4 that I'm not aware of, we haven't actually seen a ship.
No,
The
we've not
closest thing
seen the
we've
airship.
seen to that is in like season 3, where the Cutie Mark Crusaders made a paper boat and it sank.
We saw
Yes,
that.
I think that's technically the closest we ever got to an airship because it was a ship,
An
but it was
actual
not.
ship.
There was air around it.
There
So,
was air
Oh, well,
around
we
it.
have a balloon.
We've had balloons. We had the thing that Rarity launched when she was singing the Pony Every Pony
yeah, that's.
Snow.
I think that's what we were talking about with
Yeah.
the. It's more of like
Yeah.
a
And hot air
balloon.
balloons. Don't forget hot air
It's an-
balloons.
Yeah.
There was a yacht in the Rarity Takes Manhattan episode.
Speaking of the hot air balloon, going back to Wizard of Oz, how has nobody written a Twilight Goes to Oz crossover with her fucking air balloon, hot air balloon?
Probably
That's
because not a lot of
good to
people in the
tell.
fandom have seen The Wizard of Oz.
Everybody's seen the fucking Wizard of Oz. It doesn't matter how old you are.
You'd be surprised.
Maybe I would be, but I thought everybody's seen that fucking movie. It's a great movie.
It is.
Well, a lot of great movies have gone unseen.
Well, yes,
That's a-
that's true. But I mean, like
Go on,
Wizard of Oz is like that one movie that
It's like
I thought everybody had seen. I realized we weren't all born in 1938 when that movie came out, but I mean,
No.
just me.
it is kind of a staple of American culture. You should.
It
If
is,
anyone,
yeah.
if anyone
But
listening hasn't
before
watched it, then you should
American
go watch
culture
it now.
became shameful.
If anyone listening hasn't watched it, then go watch it.
Yeah,
You're not,
and
a,
then-
you're not a, or you're not a
and
true
then-
American.
And then right after that, go watch the slavery apologist movie, Gone with the Wind.
And
Here's a
Schindler's
question.
List.
What is the first movie that you remember seeing?
Toy Story.
Really? Jesus,
Yeah.
what the fuck? But that was like 90. No, that was like 95. Never mind.
93.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I was thinking Toy Story 2 or 3, I think. 2, because 3 came out like
A couple of years ago.
7 or something. No, it was a while ago.
3 came out a couple of years ago.
Toy Story.
When I
3
first
came out in
watched Toy
2010.
Story,
Toy Story 2 was in like 2002, I think.
Was
something
it?
like that.
Yeah,
Toy Story 3 was
yeah.
2010.
Yeah.
when I first saw Toy Story, I liked it so much that me and my family literally walked right back into the theater and saw the second showing.
I can't remember the first movie I saw. I don't know. I mean, Wizard of Oz is one of my earlier memories because but I knew that was like when I was like 8 or 9. So
Well,
it was
yeah.
definitely the first.
In
I
all
remember-
likelihood, the first movies we watched were probably like cartoons or something.
I
Yeah,
watched
well,
a lot.
first
I
thing you
watched a
remember-
lot. I watched a lot of Barney and a lot of Thomas the Tank Engine.
Thomas the Tank Engine with.
I also, I remember watching my aunt had all the Star Wars movies on VHS, so I used to
remember
watch those all the time.
I watched-
Oh, I've still got all the V.
The Sarlacc
VHS.
pit. The Sarlacc pit scene was my favorite when I was a kid. When I was like 6 and 7, used to watch that shit all the time.
I could go downstairs and bring up a pile of Star Wars VHSs. We still have them around. We actually kept a VHS player in case we want to see them.
In case you want to watch it with really bad quality, with skips and stuff.
Nostalgia. That's a powerful drug.
Alex, did you laugh sadistically whenever someone got knocked into the Sarlacc pit?
I did. As a 6-year-old kid, I was like,
Yes,
fuck you.
I remember doing that too.
Don't forget that part. Well, different movie. Don't forget that part in Titanic. You know
what?
the part, the best
Oh,
part.
with the guy.
Yeah.
Oh,
He fucking falls down, hits the propeller. They make such a point of showing you that. No, like they had to know you were gonna laugh at it because it's fun. The way he hits it is like it looks like if you threw a rag doll down at like like if you threw like a Barbie doll at a fan. That's what it looks like.
oh dear.
Speaking of Barbie dolls, I used to. We had a deck at this one house I lived at a long time ago. And I used to go on the deck, and I would play with my sister's Barbie dolls, and I would like make one of them drive the car and hit another one off the deck, so they would fall down, like they were being murdered.
So, when you played as a kid, you would fake car crashes, and your favorite childhood movie scene was people being eaten.
By a Sarlacc pit, yeah, by a big vagina.
Yeah,
Yes,
with
by
tentacles.
I'm a misogynist. So I should mention that. I feel like I should mention that.
6-year-old misogynist.
Uh,
That's
my
a very
6-year-old self was very confused by Leia in that outfit, though.
Jesus Christ.
I didn't know.
Dude, I wasn't even paying. I was all about the lightsabers as a kid.
Yeah.
Like, slave Leia, whatever.
So-
I'll worry about that when I get more.
It was never about the story. It was always about the pew pew pew. And the
Pew,
thing.
pew, pew.
I remember when I first watched Star Wars, I didn't even care what was going on. I was just like, oh my god, there's spaceships and lasers flying everywhere, there's explosions.
That is still how I watch Star Wars.
That's how I watch these movies.
What's a Jedi? Oh, the guy with the sword. Okay.
Midichlorians, who cares about that shit?
Don't fucking talk
Show
about
me more pew pew
midichlorians.
pew.
Oh my god.
I remember
Jar
as
Jar Binks.
a stupid kid, I loved the first, not the first, but I mean, Phantom Menace. Whenever the hell that came out,
Yeah, that was.
I remember seeing that in theaters and I was like, holy shit, that was amazing. And the pod racing scene, as a kid, loved the hell out of it. I look back on it now and I'm like, why was I so stupid?
Oh dear.
The first movies that I remember was like the Transformers animated movie
Oh my
Because there
god,
was that one-
where everybody dies.
where everybody dies.
And
I remember
like,
even as a kid, I realized how depressing it was. Because when I got through watching it, I was like, my whole outlook on life has been changed. All of my favorite characters are dead now.
there was a scene in the like 19. First of all, the fact that their soundtrack has "You've Got the Touch" in it is fantastic.
You've
We
got
need
the
more.
touch. You've got the
Anyway,
That's a good song.
the fact that that's on the soundtrack is excellent. But there was one scene which stuck with me, and I don't know why. Is two of them, I can't for the life of me remember the names, get like stranded on a planet, and the only inhabitants are like
Hot Rod and Ironhide.
were fish
Boom.
robot things, and the way they communicated with fish robot things was saying a phrase and offering them a piece of gum. And I have no idea why this scene stuck
What
with me, but it's just like,
is it? Is it the Transformers animated movie that had Unicron voiced by
Yes.
Orson Welles?
I don't know. I don't know if
Yes,
it was voiced by
It was
Orson Welles.
voiced by Orson Welles, which
He
is
did such
amazing.
It's funny because he did such a great job, but he's actually been quoted as saying that was like he hated that role because he
It was
described it. He was like, I played a toy that ate other toys,
yes, that's
To be
but
fair,
which is
Like-
true. But
Orson
John
Welles is a
Delancey-
bit of a douche, but
John Delancey, when he was first asked if he enjoyed the Discord role or whatever it was, I can't remember the exact question, but he'd completely forgotten that he'd played the Discord role and actually asked
Yep.
his wife what they were talking to.
wow.
What they were talking about.
And now he's become
you
like
played
a
villain in Little Oh, I did, didn't I?
but now he's become like a thing.
he's like a
Oh,
demigod.
remember you played that role
But-
for the show about for the little girls? No, these aren't
But-
little girls talking to me.
I'm pretty sure that Orson Welles, I think that was his last role in a movie was Unicron, because I'm pretty sure he died shortly afterwards.
Yeah.
Which is both hilarious and sad at the same
Hey,
time.
didn't in the Dark Knight? Didn't Heath Ledger? Didn't all the scenes taken with him were in one take? Like there were no backups in case
I
they
don't
would go
know,
back and redo?
maybe.
I
I
don't know.
doubt that because it's a fucking movie. They don't ever do just one take. They don't just go, that's good enough. Fuck it, we'll call that
Eh,
good. Nobody does that. That sounds like an urban legend. But
No,
didn't
I
he?
mean, like in the post production, there were no scenes they had to go back and redo.
Oh, you mean like to do pickups? Maybe. That could be right. That I would believe,
hmm.
but I don't know.
Mhm.
I mean,
I
he was really
remember.
good, and then he died.
Yeah, that's true.
That
His
kid's going
portrayal of
places.
Joker was an unusual one, but one I quite enjoyed. It fitted with the sort of grungy, more realistic Batman that the Dark Knight series focused on.
Which wait, which one? The first Dark Knight?
The
Or
Dark
wait,
Knight
no, Dark
series.
Knight. Yeah, not Batman Begins, which was also pretty good, but less good.
Mm.
Batman Beyond is a good cartoon show.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Shame,
no,
it's a
yeah,
shame that it was over.
yeah. You know what was a really good cartoon movie in the '80s?
Go
Um,
on. Watership Down.
I was not gonna go with what I was
Yeah.
actually gonna say. What I should have said, what I should have prefaced this with.
Captain Planet.
You know, it was a really terrible cartoon movie in the '80s that had a really great intro.
Go
The
on.
G.I. Joe movie.
Not actually seen
It starts off with an amazing musical number with like so Cobra in one of his usual, grandiose and overly involved plans decides
Yeah.
he's gonna steal the Statue of Liberty. And so he like fucking parachutes in with all his fucking dudes and they sing a song where Cobra comes in and it's like do 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 I'm the bad guy and
Oh,
like
hey
it's
guys, we have questions now.
I know.
Arch
Well,
has
we're
a
talking
question.
about G.I. Joe.
Yeah,
Arch
we're
has
talking about
Arch
G.I.
has a
Joe.
question, but
I haven't even
Yeah.
answered what my first film was.
and then fucking G.I. Joe comes in and it's like G.I. Joe just
I watched
it's
the G.I. Joe
amazing.
movie.
If you
I've never
just
watched
go
the movie.
just go watch the intro. Just watch the
Yeah.
intro. That's all you
Yeah,
never
the
need to
rest,
see.
the rest of the movie was weird and
Horrible
stupid.
and shit.
It's G.I. Joe. Like, it's a movie about a guy called Cobra stealing the Statue of Liberty. What did you expect?
Actually, the actual movie was about like some kind of ancient civilization, and then they like Cobra wanted to use like this serum to turn everybody into plant people or something. I don't know. There was some kind of weird, typically overblown.
It made sense when you were like 8 and you had to be there.
Yeah, that's the general test of G.I. Joe stories.
it-
Does it allow for explosions, and is it anything that an 8-year-old could go with? Yes, yes,
An
yes.
8-year-old, well, yeah, as long as there are explosions, an 8-year-old will go with anything.
Right.
Yeah, pretty much.
If-
Lightsabers.
If you're not 18 or 8, if you're not 8 and you're a little bit older than that, but you still want to see G.I. Joe being great, watch just the intro of the movie. And that's all you ever need to see. It's the only animated version of G.I. Joe you ever need to see in your life.
Mhm.
And then when you're done with that, go read Something Awful's G.I. Joe After Action, the Cobra After Action reports, because those were fucking hilarious. It was Zach Parsons, who's like a really talented writer and really funny guy, and he would do these. He would take G.I. Joe episodes and sort of add up the resources it would require to do these ridiculous things. Like one of them was Cobra was trying to steal like a bunch of barrels of oil that were worth, I don't know, like maybe $10 million. But the cost of getting these things, according to everything he did in the episode, was something like 20 billion. Like it would like way outweigh the gain. And
To be fair, you're trying to make logical sense out of someone who thinks it's a good idea to steal the Statue of Liberty.
and that's why it's funny. Those things they're really fucking funny because they break down the mania that Cobra must be suffering from. And
just wanna-
he seems to have an
People.
unlimited supply of money to draw from. Like he just
I
never
just
runs
wonder
out.
Why people accept him as like a boss? Like, what did you two do today? We spent 20 billion to get 10 million.
Well,
Good job.
him and Destro.
Yeah,
Oh God, the arguments they used to have.
right.
Destro. Oh,
First
God.
movie I remember seeing. I don't know if it's the first one I ever saw, but it was those Magnificent Men and Their Flying Machines. Which
Oh
is-
yeah,
Could
I
you
saw that
be
when I was
any
really
more
little, too.
British?
I saw that when I was
movie I
in America,
watched.
and I remember really enjoying
Was
it.
it? That sounds
Yeah.
British. Okay, well, never
It's-
mind.
Those Magnificent Men and Their Flying Machines it's basically set in slightly post Wright Brothers flight, where
Oh.
all the planes uh, like balsa wood and paper, and maybe they've got an engine to spare, like between 5 planes.
Yeah, this,
And-
like everybody is trying to do their own version of a
Yeah.
plane, and all of them are like really weird and silly.
I think
And
back.
it's
I think back.
1920s wacky races.
That sounds awesome.
Oh my gosh!
That
At the
sounds
beginning,
incredible.
at the beginning of the movie, they show like documentary footage of all the stupid and crazy things that people do to fly. Like there was actually this one guy who had a car, and he attached like a giant umbrella
Yeah,
to it.
yeah.
And it would like hop the car up and down trying to get into the air.
I think back then all the planes were made out of spitballs and toothpicks.
Yeah,
Pretty
pretty
much.
much. Like there was this big story, and it was like a race to get the prize money, and there was a German guy who was despicably evil and raced to get. the woman
It's
and
always a
stuff like
German guy. Jesus Christ.
that. In like 1920s America, yeah.
Well, yeah, but
That's
like we
complicated.
barely had any involvement in World War One. Why do we hate the Germans then? 20 years later, yeah, no, that I understand, but
Well,
Oh,
it's kind of the Germans were the reason we did go into World War One.
I know not for America, like barely. We were like, oh my God, fine, we'll fucking
Well,
come
we
and help you." Jesus Christ.
we intercepted a message from a German U-boat in the Gulf of Mexico. They wanted Mexico to go to war with us.
I know Mexico wasn't going to go to war with us. Do you think Mexico was going to win?
Do you know how many
exactly.
times?
Mexico turned the letter over to the United States.
Yeah, they were
saying,
like,
"Hey,
no.
Germany wants us to go to war with you."
Yeah, so I mean, like America, we could have just fucking sat it out, but we came in just like World War II. We came in like the last year, and we're like, oh my God, fine, we'll clean up your mess, Jesus.
And then we acted like we won the.
I know
world.
we acted like we
Yeah.
won, even though everybody else had done all the fighting. We just came in and mopped
Like,
things up.
The thing that really gets my goat is that back-to-back World War champ phrase that some Americans spout off.
Oh,
at
Yes.
God.
I saw that on Ingrid today.
World War III when?
Soon
Yeah.
if this Ukraine thing escalates,
Oh my god.
World
God,
War
I
III
hope so.
bowl. Get high.
dude, I want a new World War to watch. I want to have somebody to root for. I'm pulling for the underdog. I'm gonna go with like Moldova.
No, just that Madagascar will rise.
And then
Well,
we
yeah,
all know.
we all
in
know
that
that
case,
Madagascar.
Belgium will be occupied. So
We're just gonna find out that in like 5 years' time, Madagascar has secretly been amassing a gigantic bioweapon.
No. Madagascar.
Madagascar.
Madagascar has been slowly acquiring scientists, and they've built all the spaceship parts, and they're about to head off to Alpha Centauri. They're going to win the science victory.
You know what? Madagascar does have the best defense system. They just need to close their port.
And then shut down everything. It's like, oh my god.
Okay, now
Nuclear
question.
missiles that are shot at them get turned away by like immigration office.
Dear.
Questions now?
They get hit with
Yes,
bureaucracy.
there was a question. What was it?
Arch,
Um,
what's the best way to react when the readers don't understand what you wrote?
Whine and complain.
If I could answer seriously, I would say it depends on who the people like. If the person, I usually only respond to those types of comments if it's like a long comment or it feels like the person put some effort into writing it. Then I'll usually respond back and try to explain. I was like, no, this is what I was going for. But if they're just like, oh, I don't get it, then I'm like, well, sorry. And I just kind of ignore those people. But it's sort of, it comes with the territory of being a writer. Is not everybody's going to get what you're going for. It's the death of the writer all over again.
The secret is to keep the endings open on purpose. So if people don't get it, that's their fault.
Yeah.
And then you can take the credit for whatever gets popular.
Yep.
and then,
Dude,
then you write an epilogue scene which just fucks over everything.
Yep.
Like,
And
it would
then,
just be like,
and,
and then Twilight died, and that's the entire chapter. Like,
well, and then what was that? That was in the new shit. It was, why am I drawing a blank on what it's called? The pony
describe
fucking.
it.
It's like A and B Hell but with ponies. Why am I
Oh.
Ponies the Anthology, the new one where it was M.A. Larson pops up after
Oh, yeah,
Twilight
yeah,
gets
Oh yeah.
and he's like, and she's gone. That's it. That's the end.
And then credits roll.
And then credits roll. Oh, that was amazing. It's one of my favorites.
There's one where what's the Rainbow Dash's birthday episode,
Mm.
and there's a gif. She's jumping up on the trampoline thing, and then that eagle from
Oh, God,
Pinky
that
Apple
one
Pie
was so
comes in,
funny.
That
swoops her
eagle-
away, and then the credits roll.
That eagle is still going to be what kills Scootaloo once that episode finally rolls around. Because
No one cares, Alex.
that's what spawned the whole thing. We were talking about the eagle
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
like forever
Oh
ago.
Jesus, that eagle is like my favorite.
It's
character.
amazing. It is.
I haven't watched half the scenes that it's turned up in, and it's fucking brilliant. I'm just gonna watch the scene and be disappointed that the eagle didn't show up.
It's so great. The eagle just fucking out of nowhere always just runs up and just whoop, gone.
It should like steal that puzzle box of Twilight's the moment she's about to open it.
Hmm.
Like she's just gotten all the keys to open the puzzle box, and then she's like, "This is it, guys!" Oh, and then the eagle just whee,
Oh dear.
and then the credits roll as Twilight is staring up in shock.
And then, like, whatever it was, the demon from season 1 comes back and just rules Equestria for all eternity. There we go. Alright, Arch has clarified that it was relating to an incident that happened to him where someone stopped reading his story the chapter before all of their questions were answered.
And as I said in the Skype, that exact same thing happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
how did you
sort
deal
of.
with it, Alex?
I just left it. If they don't want to keep reading, then that's fine. I don't have any. I'm not going to force people to be like, no, you got to stay here and keep reading. Because if they're not, if they don't want to read, then they don't want to read. I can't make people read.
Yeah, what generally
Alex, we know.
gets hello, stupid mic. I
Okay.
can't tell if I'm being heard or not.
Yeah, we're just ignoring
Yeah.
you. Carry on.
Oh, then I'll just keep talking. What I find kind of gets me is when this story doesn't get a whole lot of like comment feedback. Like I can get all the upvotes and favorites and thumbs up and whatever
Yeah.
I want, but if there's only a few comments and then like one person comes out with like what Arch said, oh this thing sucks, it's I'm gonna stop reading. It feels like that represents a large
Oh, thank you.
part of your reader base because you don't get a whole lot of feedback other than that, and that's what makes it difficult. But you have to remember, it's still just that one person.
Well, yeah.
See, I think that's because, like, someone could just, like, click the like button and just not have read the story and just go somewhere else and
Well,
do whatever they want.
That
They could technically leave a comment, but that requires more effort, and it implies that they think that their reaction to this has been worth enough to.
Well, I think the bigger thing is that it's a lot easier to complain about something than it is to give praise for it, and people are more inclined to be like, "This fucking sucks," than they are to be like, "Oh, let me talk about how great this story is and how it touched me." So when you get those comments, it means a lot 'cause it means somebody cares. God damn it! So it means somebody cares enough to actually say something good about it. When you get people that complain about it, those are like a dime a dozen. Everybody complains about things. It's the internet.
Mm-hmm.
That
So
is
when
a
you-
point. It's a point to always remember that. God, my throat. No matter how perfect your story is, there will always be someone who does not like it. It is literally impossible to please everyone.
Hmm.
So try not
Well,
to take
I don't know. You could be
criticism too
baked.
hard.
You could be made of bacon.
You could be porn.
But then you've got
Yeah.
vegetarians, so you know there are crazy people who will hate everything just because they hate everything. So.
Go to Tumblr.
And you might even encounter someone who likes a thing there. That would be crazy.
That's a rarity.
Indeed.
Ew.
Yes.
Those are the people you got to watch out for.
The
Those
people
are the
who like rarity.
Yeah.
I've
Yes.
seen one about the place.
I
at
was
least,
going to say people who like stuff on Tumblr, but yeah,
Yeah.
that works too.
but that's shifty. Oh dear.
Just people on Tumblr in general.
Yeah, to be quite frank. And don't we have a Seattle Angels dedicated Tumblr?
No,
Yeah.
we have
Okay.
Oh, we do have a
Yeah.
Tumblr. Yeah, that's right.
We
Yeah,
have two.
should
Seattle's
I
handle say.
manage that because no one else does.
Yeah. I don't know
Shit
how
Seattle's
Tumblr
Angels
works.
say, and Pear also set up shit the Seattle's Angels public group says, or something like that.
No,
Or-
no,
No,
no, no.
they're the
Pear
both.
set,
They're
Are they
both.
the
Pear
same
set it
thing?
up. Yeah. Pear set it up.
Pear
and
didn't
handed
want
it
to be in
over.
charge of it anymore, so he gave it to me.
Yeah, he set it up and then set it and handed it over to Roz.
I just do want to say, Arch, I do sympathize with you because on that one story, I can think of an example right now as Unfinished. My story, Unfinished. It's titled Unfinished, in case you weren't aware. I'm not just saying that it's an unfinished story.
Okay.
He
But-
finished unfinished.
Yeah,
I'm
like,
glad you picked.
I poured my heart and soul into that story. Like, that is some of the best writing I've done on this site, in my opinion. And I still got people who are like, "Oh man, Celestia is too much of a tyrant. I'm gonna stop reading." Or I even got some snide comments from people who were like, "Oh, I could totally guess what's gonna happen next." The worst part is they were kind of right. But but you know, in the end, it was still a success, and a lot of people like it, and that's just gonna have to be good enough for me as an author, because you know, for those few people who didn't like it, that's apparently there's like 8,000 people who did like it. So
Yeah, that's what you got to do. Is like, if there's somebody that doesn't like it, there's more people that do like it. So you know, whatever, just roll with it, I guess.
That said, it depends on what sort of comment you've got. Like if it's just like, I don't like Celestia because she's too much of a tyrant or whatever. Like if it's just the one dude saying that, then you know, it's probably just them having a weird view of Celestia. But if you're regularly getting comments saying that Celestia is being too much of a tyrant, it may be worth looking into.
Yeah, that's the other thing is like if you're getting multiple comments saying the same thing, it's if nothing else, at least worth responding to and trying to defend yourself if you feel you have to,
Oh yeah.
or if you
Like,
feel it's worth it. But if you
more-
think that they might be right, then maybe you should look at it.
It's true. Like, comments from random users on the internet have an incredibly low worth on their own, but they do build up. But like, you just got to take into account who's saying it. Like, if it's just like random pony 323 or whatever random username you pick up, then whatever. But if like someone like Wanderer D comes along and says he's not a fan of the way you've laid it out, Wanderer D knows a thing or two about writing horse words, so you know, it's can be worth listening to on occasion.
Right.
It's all about perspective. Some comments are worth listening to more than others. More comments are worth listening to more than fewer
And
comments are.
it's usually obvious when they are on how said comments are articulated.
Usually, yeah. This sucks because I hate it because Celestia is bad and evils generally doesn't mean that your Celestia portrayal is particularly bad.
I got a very angry private message from some guy who didn't like the fact that Spike didn't feature very heavily in Unfinished.
Yes,
Yeah.
I vaguely remember you mentioning that.
The best kind of people.
I do love getting. I've only gotten like maybe 2 angry PMs, but they're
I
always
haven't
fun to
gotten any
read.
angry
I have a
PMs.
collection.
I'm kind of jealous.
I have a collection of angry PMs. I remember the first angry PM I ever got. I saved it. I got a screen cap of it. It's actually framed. Not quite, but you know, it's just shut the fuck up, and it's like 13, 14
Oh, yeah.
exclamation points.
I remember you showing that one.
That was the first piece of angry hate mail I ever got, and it was because I commented on a story he liked. It wasn't
my
his
gosh,
story.
Person actually changed their name.
It wasn't even his story. It was someone else's story, but he liked the story, and I gave a negative review of it, and his response was to tell me to shut up with like 14 exclamation points. It's like, oh, and there was also a flutter angry emote, so that's how you know he was serious.
Oh, emotional crit.
People still use
that
those?
must have really hurt.
Mhm.
People
It
still
was
use those emotes?
crippling. Really crippling.
Sure.
Ah dear.
I use those emotes. What does that make me?
A person.
An asshole.
I
Well,
knew
that
it.
too.
Anyway, there was another question. If
Was
I'm
there?
Not mistaken. Another one from Dosso, which is how much do you think MLP is a gateway into creative media like video directing, music composing, writing, etc.?
Well, let's
Is
see.
it a gateway drug?
Writing. So,
I tried MLP a couple of years ago, and my life has been changed. Now
Ever
I'm
since
writing,
then, I can't go back.
I'm just writing about seppuku dogs and stuff like that. Anyway, um, I don't like the act of getting into MLP itself will not make you more likely to get a job as a writer, but the act of watching MLP and then deciding, hey, I'm going to go write a fanfic about one of the characters dying repeatedly. Chances are you are over a period of time going to improve your standard of writing, and that itself is a gateway sort of thing, you know.
Chances are.
I would
Chances
like I would like to think that is in improvement.
May the odds ever be in your favor and all that.
God damn it.
I remember enjoying the original Hunger Games book, and then the second one was just an utter pile of wank. I can't even bring myself to look at the third book.
I never read it, but I watched the first movie, and I remember at the end of the theater, or at the end of the theater, at the end of the movie, I just like threw my hands up and said, "That was it? Are you? It just fucking ended." And I was like, "What?"
Mhm.
And I looked over at my friend, and I'm like, "That was it?" He's like, oh, "I guess that was it." And I was like,
Because I know so little about the series, I'm just gonna say the synopses that I've just like heard summaries of the story, and to me it sounded a lot like Twilight, but instead of vampires, you had like archers.
well, not really. It was more like Battle Royale, but shitty.
Oh,
The thing is, like, the sort of dystopian world it's set in is quite a nice one. Like, you've got this one superpower city which controls all the nukes and forces these other districts to work and provide for their luxurious lifestyle, lest they be nuked into shit.
You know what? Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. But that setting itself, while it may not be completely original, is an interesting setting. I like
That sounds analogous for something.
Yeah.
You know what movie? You know what movie did
Almost.
that better? That exact concept better without the fighting.
As
Elysium.
Elysium
Yeah.
was fucking great.
It was
I
much
didn't,
better.
I didn't like Elysium very much.
I thought it. I was a little disappointed by it only because I like District 9 so much. But Elysium was
Yeah,
really good.
that's true.
I liked Elysium a lot.
I wanted to see more robots killing each other.
I just thought the only thing that I didn't like about Elysium was the like the shoehorned in littlest cancer patient bullshit.
Oh yeah.
I was like,
I can't wait for The Edge of Tomorrow.
what is that? Is that a new Neil
It's
Blomkamp
It's
movie?
like Groundhog Day set in Normandy with aliens.
What?
Yeah.
What? What?
Yeah,
That's actually pretty much it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay,
That's
I'm down. That's all I need to hear. I'm gonna watch this.
This is World War II with aliens and never.
Groundhog
not,
Day.
not World War II. It's futuristic, kind of.
Oh,
They fight.
Wait,
Yeah,
but Normandy?
well,
It's storming the beach.
Of Normandy.
and the guy
Yeah,
dies
which-
over and
yeah,
over
could be
again
normal.
storming. The guy dies over and over again storming this beach with aliens on it.
Yeah, every time he dies, he wakes up.
The day
see,
before.
at the end, I'm
Wait.
just predicting now. The final twist at the end is going to be that he was the only person invading the beach, and they're all just his reincarnating over and over again.
No, the real twist is that he was the aliens all along. He was fighting himself. No,
Dear.
He is.
I remember-
I would burn down the movie theater if that was the end.
But now that you describe that, I remember seeing that trailer because at the time I remember seeing the trailer of this guy running across this beach, dying, and then waking up, and then like talks to some chick or whatever, and then I was like, what the fuck is this movie about? It was so baffling. I couldn't understand anything. And then now that you say it now I'm interested. But when I watched the trailer,
wanna
I
see this.
couldn't. It
The
was.
only thing that I'm worried about is that it has Tom Cruise.
Oh right.
Does he get shot in the face?
Well, apparently he dies over and over again, so there's that.
Well, he's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
Sean Bean,
that's like-
so he's
that's
not
like
going
a
to die
Tom Cruise.
permanently.
I just want a movie where Sean Bean has a happy life. That's
Here's a
what I
plot
want.
twist: Sean Bean is actually reincarnating, and all the movies that he dies in are like snapshots of all the different time periods he's been in.
Oh dear, and a lot of them were Normandy Beach with aliens. But no,
Spoilers.
There
Spoilers.
there should be a movie in the style of Groundhog Day where every time a guy dies, he wakes up in an alternate reality of his life.
Of Sean Bean. No, I was gonna say. I was gonna say the spoiler to Sean Bean, the plot twist in Sean Bean's life is he's actually trapped in a Twilight Zone-esque nightmare where he just keeps dying over and over again, but like reawakening every day as his normal self. And then he goes and plays in a movie, he dies, and wakes up again. He's caught in a Twilight Zone-esque slash Ray Bradbury-esque nightmare.
It's just like melting before our eyes. Anyway, what was it?
Like
We were
he
talking-
opened the
I
Ark
was-
of
I
the
was talking-
Covenant.
featuring Sean Bean.
He should have been in that movie. He could have had his face melted off. That would have been awesome.
Sure.
The
I
whole
haven't
movie
seen
could have just
Sean-
been Sean Bean getting his face melted off, and that would have been enough.
Yeah. It's just like next movie, The Many Deaths of Sean Bean.
Harrison Ford walks up to like whip him, and then his
Sean
face
Bean
melts
dies a
off.
bunch.
and boom.
Oh dear. But no. What was it? I was talking about the Hunger Games, and yes, it's pretty much like Battle Royale. But the setting itself, while unoriginal, was interesting. And in the first book, that's sort of explored because you've got these game makers who manipulate the game and like summon fire tornadoes to throw at people because what the fuck else are they gonna do?
Make ice tornadoes.
I just realized that somehow we always end up on movies.
It's true. We watch movies. Well, I
We have a very specific, not audience, but demographic. No.
Is this where we steal
Interest.
ideas?
We have very specific
ideas
interest.
for Horsefic?
We have Alex in here. Everything's going to turn into movies eventually. But yeah, I'm talking about the book because I haven't actually seen the Hunger Games movies. So,
Are we in a movie right now?
Shit.
we're all Sean
What if we're all just brains in a jar? I don't know. Without immediate
Give it
sensory,
1,000 years, Alex. Give it 1,000 years.
without immediate sensory perception, how am I to believe that we exist in a real world?
Mhm.
Fucking.
At least this world has ponies.
If you die, you
Yeah.
die for real.
You could just like apply that tagline to everything, like except Sean Bean. He's the one exception.
Sean
But
Bean's gonna be like that. He's gonna be like that one. There was a guy. I think it was a Twilight Zone episode. Maybe not. No, I think I'm thinking of Futurama, which might have been referencing a Twilight Zone episode, where it was this actor who like just played different people all through. Like he just would like reincarnate basically and play new. It was Calculon. That's what it was. He was a vampire, I think, and Calculon would just keep coming back playing new actors every like generation or so. And that's Sean Bean. He just keeps dying and coming back and playing a new.
Sean Bean. Oh dear. Anyway, the problem. Back to the Hunger Games again. The problem I had with it was like the first book that was all well and good, and in the second book, because in the first one they tried to fake a love interest between the two in order to gain approval ratings because it's a TV show.
I thought for the longest time that when she said Peter, I thought his name was Peter, but she was just saying it with an accent. For the whole movie. For the whole
Like
movie.
this is a documentary and they're all just Canadian. Just go north of the border, you end up in
Peter?
District 5. That's it. Anyway.
No, that sounds
Like-
like they're from the Lion Witch in the Wardrobe. Anyways.
Aslan
Continue.
has been confirmed for being a crackhead. Man.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wait. Was it President Perfect that wrote a really hilarious fic about Twilight? Or no, it was Fluttershy. She went into the wardrobe from Lion Witch to the Wardrobe. And
Oh, yes,
Aslan is a pimp, and he
Have you heard the audio version of that?
I haven't, but I've been meaning. No, I have. Actually, I have.
Someone did a recording of it, and it is amazing.
yeah,
it
it's
was Bren
fantastic.
Daniel.
No,
Bren Daniel read it, so you know it's going to be amazing.
it's fucking fantastic. That story is the best shit. It's just Aslan, who's supposed to basically be Jesus.
Yeah.
In the real story, he's a pimp, and he talks. Just.
I'm gonna have to check this out.
Oh God, Present Perfect is I love that guy
He's
so
something.
much.
He's
He's-
He's
he-
something else.
He writes funny fics and doesn't afraid of anything.
He's what I aspire to be.
Yeah, well, Alex, to do that, you'd have to read more.
It's true.
Part of him is what I aspire to be.
You'd have to write more.
I write a lot.
Uh,
I've got like just as I just recently passed his number of followers, which blew my mind because I remember him
Really?
being like really far ahead of me. Yeah,
Huh.
I fucking tell me about it. So I felt I was like, oh,
I like how
well, alright.
I like
then.
how the immediate reaction to you gaining followers is really.
I know. How?
Why are
Who?
people following
Who
you?
the fuck's following? Why? Anybody that's following me, stop. Don't do that. Why are you following me?
It's
404, follower not found.
yeah. It's really weird for me because I've not written anything and I've got like 142 followers.
I've gained like a handful of followers. When I say a handful, I mean like 5 or 6 from writing blogs and stuff. That's actually John Perry followed me after I wrote a blog about conspiracy theories a long time ago, and that's how John Perry followed me. And then we had him on. And
He's trying to keep an eye on you so they don't
yeah,
expose it.
well, then he wrote just recently. I think it was in the popular box for a while. He wrote a fic about a guy who a pony who was a conspiracy theorist.
Yes.
And yeah, before he posted it, he asked me to like read it and look over it, and I was like, yeah, sure.
I
Right?
was recently exposed to a conspiracy theory I'd personally not heard of before, which
Yeah.
was the idea that AIDS was manufactured by
Yes.
the US military to kill black people.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Well, the U.S. military are monkeys, so.
I'd never encountered this before, and it just sort of like
Well,
what?
that kind of
I-
backfires since it kills like everybody.
Yeah, it's true.
Maybe. Well,
To be
you
fair,
can
it's
just
the
all you gotta
American
do is
military, so that's like their day job.
yeah, it's the best military in the world.
Sorry, Salk.
Well, the biggest. I don't know about the
Biggest.
best, but we're the biggest.
Is
Um,
it? God.
Oh, Alex, I've been meaning to ask you.
Yeah. Okay.
But actually, Alex, we're not that big. We just got a lot of expensive toys.
Right. No, I mean, anyways, yes.
Can I copy your idea of making history blogs?
You son of a bitch. You gonna steal my thunder?
Well, I've been on like a real
What little
I've been on, like, a
thunder I
real-
have?
Dark Age, Bronze Age kick lately. And
Really?
it'll probably be a lot more boring than yours. You're right. Like you make history entertaining. I make history.
Well, thank you. That
You need to get
Do it.
Red.
that actually
I don't have the Google foo to find the funny pictures that you do.
Right,
Put it
right,
on
right.
mythology or
If when you're writing it, if you get a history boner, you're doing it right.
I have continuous history bonus.
If you weren't gonna see that, I was.
I know, that's why I had to beat you to it.
Continuous
Uh,
history bonus.
But
So does just
fucking-
thinking about recent history give you a boner, like what you were doing yesterday at breakfast?
Oh my god, I had a sandwich.
No. Actually, funny enough, after I finish, because I'm trying. Well, now that I've got a little bit of time, I think I'm gonna work on the second half of the Sengoku period. But after that, I was thinking about actually doing my best to, as per the Cards Against Humanity card, explain the geopolitical quagmire that is the Middle
Your
East.
mic's going.
I was gonna. What
It's not
is
on
it?
my. It's
And
fine.
I can still hear him.
Okay.
So, probably
But yeah,
right.
I said, like I said, I'm going to do my
Never
best
mind.
to try and explain the geopolitical quagmire that is the Middle East.
You're gonna need
Go
a lot of.
back. I'm going to go back and try to explain where everything came from and why it's such a fucking mess right now.
Back
It's going to
to
be a
the
bitch.
Civilization. Yeah.
There's a lot of
no,
factors.
it's-
There's a lot of factors, but I'm going to do my best to explain it, or at least attempt to. But
What you
that's
do,
my next one.
give
May I be a total thief and take that idea?
give a shot
You could say
to
no if you want.
South American cultures like the Mayan, the Aztecs, and the Gomex and whatever you've got down there. Because a lot of people just sort of like group them under one thing, where they're like, oh, it's the Aztec calendars.
You mean
That's what we
Olmec?
should have- that's-
You mean
Wait, that's
Olmec
what-
from the Nickelodeon show?
Hmm?
Was it Guts? It was Guts. Olmec. Remember that?
Guts
Olmec
was on
would always
Nickelodeon.
Olmec was always going to tell you what it was going to
Yeah.
win,
I have no
and
idea.
he was
Oh,
just a big
Guts.
talking head. And
Yeah, I
he
remember that.
was
Yeah.
going to tell you that you were going to win like a new pair of Nike shoes or some bullshit.
What?
Yeah, there was
You remember Olmec?
those old game shows they used to have on Nickelodeon.
Yeah, it was Guts,
And there was a guy, there was a big talking head
and his
because
name
I
was
think
Olmec. Yeah.
it was some kind of
Yeah,
lost
Olmec,
world.
tell
it
them
was
what
like
they've
a double
won.
thing.
That's what that's what we should have done for
Yeah.
the Seattle's Angels special. We should have been like
Should've
we
done
all
the
we all
show.
a game show about, I don't know, a game show about history where we all like reenact history to the
We're
worst
already
of our
talking
ability.
heads, and we don't really do much. So
Yeah.
We would all reenact history to the worst of our abilities.
What the fuck is Nickelodeon Guts?
You don't remember, dude? What the fuck? Guts
Well,
was
he's British.
Well, yeah, I know. Okay, that's a good point. But
We
no,
just had Cartoon Network. So.
Guts
Didn't
was a
know me.
Nickelodeon show about a bunch of stupid fucking kids that would like compete in obviously it was different kids every time. It was a reality show before reality shows became really popular because it was a game show. And they would do these really stupid like stunts like, oh, they're gonna make it through a fucking it was like a jungle gym basically, and they would come up with really because it was supposed to be like based off
It was
like
kind of like American Gladiators, but
So it's basically
But-
a children's
but with
version of Takeshi's Castle.
yeah,
yes, it's exactly Takeshi's Castle,
Right.
but
Okay.
for kids. Also, I watched the British version of Takeshi's Castle. That was like the voiceover. Holy shit, it's boring. As compared to the American MXC, the British one it sucks. I've seen both.
MXC is different from Takeshi's Castle, from what I know.
and then oh yeah, and
No,
then,
no.
like,
Well, no, because MXC used footage from Takeshi's Castle. Like
true,
it's
I
the exact
suppose,
same
yeah.
show.
Yeah.
But
When I'm
watched-
saying Takeshi's Castle, I don't mean
But yeah,
like
no, yeah.
but whatever.
No, I know, but yeah. It's like that where they would compete in these really stupid stunts to try and to outplay each other, and it was always to try to reach Olmec, and he would be like the final challenge. And Olmec at the beginning would tell them what they were going to win, and this guy Olmec tell them what they're going to win, and then he would come in and be like, "Oh, today we've got
And this was like a giant
60 pounds of
Aztec head thing.
or maybe
Yes, he was
maybe
a
that
big-
was maybe, there was another game show that was almost a lot like that, but it was like Raiders of the Lost Temple or something.
I remember
'Cause-
there being a TV show that was on like.
Because I remember the
BBC or
big thing on Guts was that they called it the Mega Crag, and it was this big like.
Yes, it was the Mega Crack. That's what it was called.
And then they,
Yes.
they went through revisions, and then they started calling it like the Aggro Crag, and then the Super Aggro Crag, and then the
Aggro
Super
Crag.
Mega Aggro Crag. And
That
then
does
you'd
sound like
have to,
something from
yeah, the final
MXC.
challenge was you'd have to climb up this thing, and it would like
Yeah,
squirt
yeah.
confetti and foam boulders at you.
It was the best.
This sounds exactly like something from MXC. It
I
really
forgot
Yeah.
that it was
pretty
called
much.
the Aggro
But
Crack.
you know,
But
all the
that is-
kids. All the kids had like safety harnesses, so you couldn't watch them like tumble all the way back down.
Right. It was not like Takeshi's Castle, where at least Takeshi's Castle, like everybody was gonna fall on their fucking face and land in a big pool of water every time. Doesn't matter. But in Guts, they just kind of like, oh no, I'm falling down, but I have a harness, and then they would just like whoop back up in the air.
Yeah.
But that's
Huh.
what I love. Takeshi's Castle though, endlessly funny.
Mm.
There's some really great like
the banter between the two hosts.
I know, yeah. It was Kenny Blankenship and Vic Romano.
And there was the captain as well, who was
Yes.
in the field all the
Yeah.
time.
When I used to review stories on PonyChan / MLP
Yeah.
Chan, I would start every single review with like I would say a little spiel at the beginning about how I do my reviews, and then I would say, and in the immortal words of Captain Tennille, let's go. And then I would like post a clip of him saying that from like a different episode every time, and nobody ever fucking got it. It was just me. But holy shit, he's always like, let's go.
Get him on, as well as.
Yeah, that was the beginning of
Thank you,
Challenge.
thank you,
Get it on.
Icebox Froggy. Legends of the Hidden Temple had Olmec.
That's
Yeah,
what it was.
Guts was the channel that had the show on it.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Okay.
No, the show was called Guts. Nickelodeon was a channel.
There was
no,
a.
no, Nickelodeon Guts. It was a Nickelodeon-owned channel.
Oh,
You know what? I think you're right. I remember watching this a lot in the late '90s / early 2000s.
See, I just watched. There was a sort of like Indiana Jones themed one which we had over here, which sounds fairly similar to what you've
Right.
got going on. We didn't have a talking giant head. We just had a dude in a pith helmet who just ran around with them.
He was Guy Ledouche.
Gila douche. Oh god.
Guy was my favorite. Interestingly enough, the guy who played who was the real Takeshi from the original Japanese Takeshi's Castle, he was Takeshi. Um, his name was Takeshi Kitano. He's like since that was a very famous Japanese film director who does mostly Yakuza movies.
Hmm.
And he was the host of Takeshi's Castle because he started off as like a comedy actor, and then
Right.
somehow switched to Yakuza movies that were like really deep and some of them are really fucking dark. But in that he was Vic Romano in the MXC version. That's right, Kenny. The
Oh
fucking
my
names they would come up when people would like
Yeah.
when people would do like people would land or do something and like barely save themselves, they'd come up with moves all the time.
Yeah.
And there was like you remember there was one they had like run across little rocks and stuff
Yes.
over at like a pond. There was
And
one
some
where
of
this
them
guy
were just like floating, and some of them were actual pillars.
yeah they called them floaters and sinkers.
Yes.
But there was one where this guy like leaps across one. He like jumps across one whole rock and lands on another one, and like one of his legs slips off. And he just manages to catch himself with one arm. He's like, "Oh, that's an impressive one-handed squatting Indian. Never seen that before." It's just the fucking names they come up with.
That sounds like a sex position.
That's the joke, because like all of them sound like sex positions. And all the names they come up for people are like
Yeah, the
always
introductions to people where they're like head degreaser of the greasing company. I was like,
Right.
the
Right.
Legion of Fry Cooks versus the Kentucky Astronaut Company. Or
Right.
whatever.
It's incredible. That MXC holds up surprisingly
It's
well.
timeless.
Well, you know what this means.
That we should go watch
Alex.
MXC.
Yes. Well, we should do that.
Yes.
But
MXC,
also,
Alex
somebody-
might have to write an
somebody
MXC crossover.
somebody needs to write. Alex, you have to write an MXC like Equestria Games parody.
I'll do it if Trixie and Twilight can be the hosts.
Oh dear.
That sounds pretty good.
Sparkle. Like.
But yeah, MXC, I fucking love that show so much.
Oh god, I completely forgot it
It's all
existed.
There's-
seasons are available on Hulu.
They are.
See-
I've actually been watching some of them recently because it's so
Like,
funny.
I watched it ages ago, and then what about it? And then
You can actually
however many years ago it was when it was prom for me like 5 or 6 years ago. A bunch of us were just like, at the end, fuck all this shit. We are going to Nicole's house and we are watching MXC for 8 hours until 9 o'clock in the morning and getting drunk. That is all we are doing, and it's probably the best night of the year, no doubt.
Yeah, MXC holds up incredibly well for what it is. Because I think the reason why is because it's not just like the humor is very referential, but it's
It's general enough.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, all the jokes are really, really clever. They say a lot of things. There was one of them. There was a lady who comes up and she's like, "Oh, she's in charge of the heavy loads for the heavy loads on launch pads," and
Yes.
I think the joke was basically about maxi pads. And that was the joke, is she cleaned up after heavy was it like heavy usage launch pads or something like that. It was really funny though, and like all the jokes are really subtle like that, where they're not super. Some of them
They're
are really
puns.
obvious.
There are a lot
Yeah,
of play on words. And
there's a lot of plays on words,
the thing is,
and
that
they're
they are
almost
different.
always revolved around sex, like always.
90% of the time. But they're referential, but they're referring to things that are common. Like
Right.
everyone knows what an astronaut is. Everyone knows what a fry cook is.
Exactly.
You don't
Yeah.
need to be like some super gaming guru to get these references or whatever.
And there's 4 seasons of this show, and every one of them is just as good as the last.
Oh God, it's fantastic. Uh, what were we talking about before that?
I still
Besides
haven't
what
gotten
we were
an straight answer from Alex about the blogs.
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, you can do the blogs whenever. Those are, I don't, yeah, I don't have like a monopoly on them. I personally would really like to do the complex geopolitical quagmire that is the Middle East, though.
You can take that one.
Okay, because I really want to do that one. But yeah, no, I don't own those. You can do it. That's fine.
True. Do it on mythology, dude. There's so much
I
interesting
know,
shit that you can
right?
do on mythology.
But if you do it, don't do it on Greek and Roman. That's everybody.
I was thinking like Celtic.
Do it like on like Aztec mythology.
Vikings.
Yeah,
Aztec.
like
I was thinking like Slavic or Celtic or Aztec. Or
Kel-
something.
yeah,
American
talk
Celtic's
about
good.
Quetzalcoatl.
Celtic's good. Quetzalcoatl's awesome. Why not Chinese mythology? Because there's actually an
Those
awful
are
lot of
pretty-
stuff there.
Or
Yeah.
Native
Bao
American.
Guang and like the four dragons of the winds and
I really like a lot of South American mythology, like Aztec and Mayan and Inca
there's like Chark, the god of rain, and
You got that from
Zagati.
Smite, didn't you?
Yeah. I unlocked him the other day. I was like, yes, this guy's legend. Oh dear.
I remember when I was in some random chapter, Scootaloo Dies a Bunch. I was trying to. It was the one where Rarity sacrifices Scootaloo and pulls their heart out in a reference to Temple of Doom. I was trying to find an Aztec god that wasn't Quetzalcoatl because that's a very obvious one, and I was trying to find the one that required a sacrifice, usually by removal of the heart. You would be surprised by how many of them do.
I would
There
not.
was a lot. There was a fucking lot that required sacrifice by removal of the heart or burning. It's a lot of it. It would have been easier to find Aztec gods that don't require sacrifice.
That would require them to exist.
They have very cool names though.
They
True.
do. They have really awesome names,
True.
and that's why I wanted to use them because they have names that sound made up but aren't. Well, I mean, I guess they are.
Like
Somebody
even
made them up.
even
Whole
Smite.
words are made up.
I got introduced to Mayan god through Smite. It was Amuzen Kab, and he's like the god of bees. And they come up with such a cool name for the god of bees. And it's like, wow, you know.
I
What's
think
the name of the guy with the blowpipe who's like the god of hunters or something?
Shit, I don't know. I don't know.
Or something.
I know that I think Awizodal is actually a god.
Yes,
I'm pretty sure.
that's true. Awizotl, is that the flying dragon or is that Quetzalcoatl?
That's
Quetzalcoatl is the flying dragon.
Awizodl is the blue thing that's Daring Do's arch rival. or
Yeah,
whatever.
because that was actually like how they portrayed him in Daring Do was actually a fairly accurate representation of what
Yeah.
Awizodal is.
I don't think he's a god. I think he's like a spirit or a demon or something. But
He's
He
like
could
he's like
be.
he's like a mythological creature more than
yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
he's a South American chupacabra or something.
Quetzalcoatl is the big winged serpent with like a big feathered headdress,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he's supposed to signal the end of the world basically.
Something like that, yeah. Then you've got like all the you got your Chinese mythologies with your dragons of the four winds and
Right, yeah,
lots
yeah.
of rivers and lots of spirits. I recently this is something that I've known for a while, which is that in Japanese culture, tanukis
Yeah.
are creatures that have sacred scrotums,
Yes.
and
Tanukis.
I just sort of filed this away under, well, that's a bit strange. And then I saw ancient Japanese art of tanukis, and one of them is manipulating his magic scrotum in such a way that it looks like a dragon and scares off a monster.
Cause you know, what's funny?
They fish with magic scrotums. They protect people from the rain with their magic scrotums. It's quite spectacular. If you ever have a chance to look at this, it's very creative.
I'm never going to be able to explain this to the NSA. How did magical tanuki scrotums end up in your searches?
Speaking of Japanese mythology / ancient Japanese drawings,
Hmm.
I was at the British Museum a while back.
The British Museum. That
The
one
no,
museum.
the one in London, the one that's like really big.
That one museum that Britain has in
Jesus,
London.
God, I sometimes I hate you. No, but it's like
I know which one you mean.
it's
Yes.
yeah, it's huge. Where you guys stole a whole bunch of shit from people
Yeah.
and just put it in
We
a
basically
fucking
just
museum.
we turned up
You
to
stole
places and
you
just
stole
nicked it.
half of Greece and was like, yeah, we'll just throw it in this museum.
Yeah. Why not?
Like half of the fucking Parthenon is in there.
It's true.
Anyways, way up in like the 8 millionth floor is a bunch of Japanese history, and in there is these scrolls, and there's porn. It's just like it's
Yeah.
basically just it's amazing. Like they've been drawing porn forever,
Yeah.
and Japanese people. I know we like to joke about tentacle porn and stuff, but that shit was invented like hundreds of years ago. There's like there's like scrolls of like a
Women
girl
being
getting like
molested
tentacle
by
raped by an octopus
Yeah.
or a
Like,
squid.
It's just like, was Japan ever not fucked up?
Evidently not.
With their magic
Evidently
scrotums
fucking not.
and rapey octopuses.
As much as Japan is all like as they were all about like honor and bushido and all that stuff, they were just as fucked up back then as they are now. And there's a whole lot of backstabbing going on back
True.
then too, just as much as everywhere else.
It's true. Very true. So yes, if you're ever curious as to what some of the strangest mythology the world has ever produced is, look up Japan. They should add to News to Smite.
Oh no.
Get even more controversy. I'm going to take this opportunity to plug Smite because more people need to play that game because it's brilliant. It's a MOBA that doesn't feel like a MOBA, where you take control of one of the like ancient gods from various pantheons, like Thor.
Wait, what? This sounds awesome.
Yeah,
How have I never heard of this before?
It's a free-to-play game where you basically pick an ancient god and smash other gods to bits. You've got
That sounds incredible.
Thor beating the shit out of Zeus. You've got Hercules going rage mode on Hebo, god of the Yellow River. You've got Aokwang, dragon of the West Wind, killing Bastet of the Egyptian cat goddess. You got Ra. You got Ra just turning up and fucking blinding everyone all the time.
I think if I was gonna play it, I would go for one of the lesser known gods. I would go for like, you know what? I'm gonna pick Dionysus. Just get everybody drunk all the time. That's it.
They've not got Dionysus, but they have Bacchus, which is the Roman god.
That is the Roman version, so I will take that.
Yeah.
That's good.
That was what I was talking about when I said Amuzan the god of bees.
Yeah.
His passive ability is literally bees with an exclamation point.
Yeah, that's what it's called. The fact that they haven't come out with a Dr. Bees skin for him is extremely disappointing. But
Dr. Bees?
Yes. Dr. Bees! A suitcase full of bees will solve this problem. Anyway.
Oh, I was thinking of Nick Cage.
Yeah.
With Wicker Man.
Both.
Not the bees? Oh, they're on my eyes.
You've got like Bacchus. Bacchus's thing is that he drinks wine. Like you can make him drink wine, and as he drinks more wine, he gets stronger. But that affects him in other ways and stuff like that. Like
in Skyrim, it affects your stamina.
Oh, it's like Deus Ex, where you drink one beer and you can't walk straight. Oh, Jesus Christ.
My favorite thing to do in GTA was to go to like 8 different bars or nightclubs and then drive around and just mow people down because you cannot drive at all.
Oh dear. But no, it's a fucking fun game. I recently got re-addicted to it because I'd forgotten it existed because my laptop was so shit it couldn't play it, and now I've got this new desktop thing that can play it, and oh my god, love it. Fenrir is my waifu.
Fenrir.
Yeah.
No, Fenrir's awesome.
It's
just
oh my god. Like it's even a beautiful game. Like the gods look fucking awesome. Like it's just if I had to level a criticism at it. It's that because it's free to play, it takes one hell of a long time to unlock gods permanently and not like
Yeah.
use free rotation. But aside from that, there is actually an option where you can pay one lump sum and it will get you all the gods that are out now and every god there will ever be.
Jesus
added to the
Christ.
game. So that
Is Jesus Christ one of them? Can you play as Jesus?
yet.
Not yet. That's the yet being the key word, operative phrase, the operative
Yeah.
word.
I wouldn't doubt it eventually.
They should put like God, the God,
Please,
God.
please tell
and
me.
then he has the special ability Smite.
Please, please tell me that they decided to go there and they put Muhammad in the game.
Muhammad is
I fucking hope so.
they got into an awful lot of shit for their portrayal of Kali. Who
Really?
Yeah, like the thing is, in Smite, Kali was portrayed as a blue-skinned, four-armed demonic woman whose only clothes were a sort of belt of hands and no, it was a necklace of hands and a
Oh,
belt
they
of
said. I thought you
arms.
said hams, which would have been a
No.
lot funnier, especially
Severed
given that that's
hands.
Indian culture where pork is.
Yeah, that would get them in hot water. But yeah, so the portrayal, the original portrayal of Kali in Smite was the blue-skinned woman who was wearing nothing but severed hands around her neck and severed arms around her waist.
Is
And
that not more or less what she's like?
that is exactly what she was like, right down to the hands and the arms, and
Yeah, that
and
sounds like Hindu mythology to me.
it's pretty much identical to how it was, but that was too sexual. Apparently, severed limbs
Have the Indians seen their own like fucking
mythology.
art and stuff?
Yeah,
of
there was a video that brought all that up. So, and then what's even funnier is that in order to solve this controversy, they basically just gave her a regular bikini, and now she has like under boob instead of side boob, and suddenly that's okay.
Yeah. To be fair, before she had under boob and side boob, but you know.
Can you
Oh,
play? Can you
sorry.
play as Shiva? I think she's 6 arms, and is the goddess of destruction or something like that. Actually, I don't think she's a goddess so much. She's like ambiguous gender. He, she.
Shiva, I think, was the sort of nebulous collection of all gods who Kali was born of, because I think the
Like
origins
Kronos-ish.
Kronos, one of the Kronos is in there, depending on which one is. But the story behind Kali was that Shiva was fighting some super big demon, and every time Shiva hit the demon, the blood that spilled turned into new demons. And
Is it just me, or does sometimes mythology just sound like a Dragon Ball Z episode?
Sounds like most fanfics.
But then Shiva created Kali, who was like a version of Shiva. But the thing that Kali did was she drank the blood as it was spilled, so no more new demons were spawned.
Right.
And
Uh,
I've not
Would
played
they spawn
Kali.
inside of her?
I don't know. I think it was they didn't hit the ground, so nothing happened. But
Crystal
yeah,
Gaze.
before go on.
Oh, I was just gonna. I mean, like, if you want to finish something, go ahead, because I was just gonna say something different. Like,
No, go on. It's fine.
okay. In the Skype chat, Icebox Froggy just said that the next update is the Messiah update. I'm not sure if he's just joking, but God, I hope that's true, because imagine playing as L. Ron Hubbard. Fucking imagine that. Like,
Going like toe to toe with Odin or
right?
something.
Yeah, going toe to toe with
Hercules.
Odin or Zeus or fucking Shiva, and you're L. Ron Hubbard. What do you do? Write books at people?
Yeah.
You throw the book at people.
No, his
Paper
first
dogs.
ability is a stun, where he just like quotes one of his books, and anyone within audio.
No, please tell me he summons Lord Xenu at some point.
His ultimate is Zeno comes down from the heavens and smites everything. It's just like he only unlocks it after like 20 minutes of waiting, and he just uses it once and wins the game. Like done.
Everybody
No,
ends up.
he-
Everybody gets tormented by the souls of dead frozen people.
No, what he does is he gets all the enemy gods and goes on a cruise with them and never returns. That's it.
What is that? Heaven's Gate? That was a different person.
Was it?
That's no.
Nope.
It was who's the Heaven's Gate guy? I can't remember who that is. Shit. But if he was in the game, his ultimate would be to to give Kool-Aid to everybody and have them all kill themselves, and then he just wins by default.
Oh, Jesus Christ. But yeah, there's a
Or
lot
Vermin
of
Supreme.
To what?
Vermin Supreme. Was he a religious messiah?
I don't know.
Oh, he looked like a messiah.
That's true, with his Wellington boot on his head. Yes.
Yep. And a pony for every home.
Yeah, that was his promise. Oh dear,
Oh right, yes, that guy. Now I remember. Now I remember.
that guy indeed.
He was just. I think he was just a crazy homeless person.
Pretty much.
Who got a couple thousand votes for the presidential candidate.
Well,
Well,
yeah.
to be fair, he is better than most of the other candidates. So
That's true.
We won't
Yeah.
name them to be politically neutral. We'll allow you to
he's better than
blame
Congress
yourself.
at least. So
Alright. Anyway, I do note that we are pretty much at the end of our allotted time. So, I think we should probably just sign off. Like, we didn't go over this week's story.
We didn't talk about anything besides fucking movies.
movies
L. Ron
mythology.
Hubbard.
Yeah, that's all.
God.
And MXC. Don't
A
forget
lot of
MXC.
MXC.
A lot
Maybe we
of
should try to get special guests on all the time, so that way we have things to talk about.
What we need
But
is
then we'll
for
just drag
people
them
to
into our black hole of MXC and L. Ron Hubbard.
Right?
just reminisce about Dark Sonic
It's-
Killer.
We could
or
probably
whatever.
get like the Descendant on here, and we'll,
And
We'll
we'll
be
talk
like,
about
so
Tom
what do you-
Wolf's
what do
the
you-
Stair Dragon.
what do you think about magical Tanuki scrotums, Descendant?
No, we're just going to quit reading a story because it's not got any magical Tanuki scrotums and they're going to be in the next chapter. And the author's just dying to tell you. No.
The Descendant writes a trollfic, and we have only ourselves to blame.
I would-
Please, somebody write about magical Tanuki scrotums.
Alex.
I'm not. I already have so many things to write. I can't. I don't. I don't have time.
I would, like, any story which revolves around magical Tanuki scrotums would be my favorite story for all
You know.
time.
You know what?
Like,
You know what? Twilight and the magical Tanuki scrotum.
I
Done.
would read that.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
Fucking read
Alex,
that.
write your other things first.
I know I have so many fucking things I keep saying I'm gonna write, and then people issue me challenges. Like fucking Floyd posted a picture of Twilight and Trixie in a bed, and he's like, write something off this, and I'm like, all right, I'll do it. And
Why would you
I
choose
just-
Twilight and Trixie over magical Tanuki scrotums?
it's a good point. It's a valid, good point.
It's a valid argument. Like magical
Introduce
Tanuki
see forcible touchings at some point.
Oh my god.
God.
Well, if Bob were here, he would be dead.
is
Oh
unbelievable.
Jesus.
Like Pavi's going to turn up next week, and we're going to talk about magical Tanuki scrotums again, and he's going to be so fucking lost.
And we're going,
Knowing
and
Pav,
then at the end we're going to ship it with forcible touching to his missing
Yeah.
ball.
knowing Pav, he will be confused by Tanuki scrotums, but okay with that.
He'll be like, you know what? I'm
Yeah,
okay.
I-
I'm okay with that. Let's go.
Possible to
Yeah, I can Tanuki scrotum, sure.
Tanuki scrotums. OTP.
And
Oh dear.
on that bombshell, we are done.
Okay.
Happy anniversary, I guess.
Happy. I sure. If you could call it that.
Yeah.